Wyoming, the land of brutal winters, endless wind, and more bison than people. You'd think this place would be broke, forgotten, and empty, and you'd be half right. But here's the kicker. Wyoming is weirdly wealthy. In fact, it's got the highest concentration of billionaires per capita in the entire United States. Yeah, billionaires, hanging out in a state where the biggest city has fewer people than most college campuses. So why on earth would the richest of the rich pick a place that spends half the year buried in snowdrifts and the other half getting blown away by hurricane-level winds? Stick around, because the answer is a wild mix of tax loopholes, mountains, and a little town called Jackson Hole. Welcome back to Beyond the Map. Today, we're tackling Wyoming, a state that's basically one giant contradiction. Nobody lives here except billionaires. It's inhospitable, empty, and economically weak, yet it's also one of the richest playgrounds for the ultra-wealthy. If you're new here, make sure to hit subscribe, because trust me, you're not going to want to miss the strange economics of a state where Harrison Ford, Dick Cheney, and Silicon Valley billionaires are all next-door neighbors to ranchers barely scraping by. First, let's set the scene. Wyoming is not exactly a paradise for normal folks. Winters drag on for 8 months. Snow piles up higher than your car. Winds blast across the plains at 50, 60, sometimes 70 miles per hour. Trucks literally get blown off the interstate. And as if that's not enough, the land itself isn't even good. Short growing seasons, poor soil, and very little water. So what do you get? A state that's massive in land size but tiny in population. Just 580,000 people, the lowest of any state. That's fewer people than live in Milwaukee, spread across an area bigger than the entire United Kingdom. By all logic, Wyoming should be broke, dusty, and ignored. And yet, it's filthy rich in one corner. Which brings us to the big question. What's going on in Teton County? So here's the thing about Wyoming. People don't exactly flock here. The state's population is barely 580,000. That's less than the number of people in Milwaukee. Spread across nearly 100,000 square miles, it feels empty because it is. You could drive for hours and see more prawn hernas than humans. Now, let's talk about jobs. White-collar industries? Practically non-existent. Silicon Valley didn't exactly decide to set up shop in Cheyenne. Finance? Nope. Major corporate headquarters? Forget it. Wyoming's economy has leaned heavily on energy extraction, oil, coal, and natural gas, plus ranchu. But let's be real. Those industries don't exactly make for glamorous, high-paying office jobs in big shiny towers. And when it comes to farming, good luck. The soil is thin, the water's scarce, and the growing season is shorter than a Wyoming summer barbecue. Even with endless open land, agriculture here has always been a struggle. So what you get is this weird setup. A massive state with few people, a limited job market, and no obvious economic engine that should make it rich. Honestly, Wyoming should rank closer to Mississippi in terms of wealth. Now, with under law that lives in Wyoming, life and place like love are suddenly different. A place so rich, it looks like a glitch in the American economy. And that place is Teton County. So, how does a state that feels more like a frozen wasteland suddenly become a magnet for billionaires? Simple. Teton County. This little slice of northwest Wyoming is basically where all the money piles up. We're talking about Jackson Hole, a valley ringed by the jagged Teton Mountains, with postcard views that make Aspen look like a knockoff ski hill. Back in the 1980s, it was Harrison Ford who set the trend. At the peak of his career, instead of buying some gaudy Aspen chalet, he scooped up 800 acres in Jackson Hole. And when Han Solo makes a move, other rich folks follow. Pretty soon, Jackson was crawling with celebrities, CEOs, and trust fund heirs who decided that this sleepy corner of Wyoming was the perfect place to play cowboy without giving up their Gulf Streams. Today, the numbers are insane. Teton County isn't just rich, it's the richest county in the United States by per capita income. Let that sink in. The same state that struggles to keep its population above 500,000 has a county where billionaires stack up like elk in migration season. So why are the ultra-rich obsessed with Jackson Hole? Sure, the skiing's world-class. The ranch properties look like movie sets. But the real magnet here isn't just the mountains, it's the money math. And that brings us to Wyoming's ultimate secret weapon: taxes. Alright, let's be honest. Billionaires don't move somewhere just because the sunsets are pretty. They move because the spreadsheets make sense. And Wyoming? It's like Disneyland for accountants. First off, no state income tax. Zero. Nada. That means if you're raking in millions from Wall Street dividends or Silicon Valley stock options, Wyoming just smiles and says, keep it all. Compare that to California's double-digit tax rates, and suddenly, Jackson Hole looks like paradise. But it doesn't stop there. Wyoming also has some of the lowest property taxes in the nation. So those $50 million ranches tucked under the Tetons, the annual tax bill is pocket change compared to what the same house would cost in, say, New York or Colorado. And here's where it gets really juicy. Wyoming is a trust haven. The state lets you set up dynasty trusts that can last for centuries, shielded from federal estate taxes. Translation? Billionaires can park their money here, pass it down to their kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids, and Uncle Sam barely gets a sniff. So, when you add it all up, you see the real reason billionaires love this place. Wyoming isn't just a state, it's a legal loophole with mountains attached. The rich get to play cowboy while their accountants do cartwheels. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not just about dodging taxes. If you're a billionaire, you want your hideaway to look good on Instagram, too. And Wyoming delivers. Jackson Hole sits right at the doorstep of Grand Teton National Park, with Yellowstone just up the road. We're talking jagged mountain peaks, alpine lakes, and wildlife straight out of a nature documentary. On any given day, you might see moose wandering through a backyard, bald eagles circling overhead, or bison casually blocking traffic like they own the place. Which, let's be real, they kind of do. Then there's the skiing. Jackson Hole Mountain Resort isn't just any ski hill, it's legendary. Steep runs, deep powder, and enough extreme terrain to keep adrenaline junkies busy for life. Celebrities can shred down a black diamond in the morning, then sip champagne by the fireplace at their $20 million chalet in the afternoon. And for those who aren't into skiing, no problem. Fly fishing, horseback riding, mountain biking, luxury spas, golf courses. It's basically a billionaire's playground with cowboy window dressing. It's the kind of place where you can dress rugged in flannel and boots while your private chef grills Wagyu steaks on the patio. So between the mountains, the wildlife, and the rugged luxury vibe, Wyoming checks all the boxes. It feels wild and authentic, but with enough five-star amenities to keep the ultra-rich comfortable. Here's where things go off the rails: real estate. Jackson Hole's economy basically runs on two engines: tourism and property values, and both are on steroids. Every year, millions of visitors pour into Yellowstone and Grand Teton, making tiny Jackson feel like Times Square with cowboy hats. Hotels, restaurants, ski resorts, they're packed, and the money keeps flowing. But the real gold mine? Houses. Scratch that, mansions. Property values in Teton County are so inflated, they make California look like a bargain bin. Want a modest 3-bedroom home? That'll be several $1 million, please. Want a sprawling ranch with a mountain view? Better bring 9 digits. To put it in perspective, Teton County has consistently ranked among the most expensive housing markets in the nation. Locals who used to scrape by on ranching or service jobs now find themselves priced out of the very land their families lived on for generations. It's so bad that some workers commute in from Idaho, across a literal mountain pass, just to find affordable housing. And here's the kicker: most of these billion-dollar-owned properties, they sit empty for half the year. They're vacation homes, trust fund investments, or status symbols. The lights are off, the driveways are empty, but the price tags keep climbing higher. So yeah, tourism brings in billions, and real estate values keep soaring. But for regular Wyomingites, it's getting harder and harder to stay in the billionaire's backyard. Here's where the story takes a darker turn. For the locals who actually grew up in Wyoming, life in Teton County is starting to feel like a bad joke. The service workers who keep the ski resorts running can't afford to live anywhere near them. Teachers, firefighters, and nurses are getting priced out by billionaire ranches and luxury condos. Some drive in from Idaho every single day, crossing dangerous mountain passes just to clock in for a job that barely covers rent. It's the classic tale of a community split in two. On one side, you've got billionaires flying in on private jets, buying up land and building mansions that sit empty most of the year. On the other side, you've got longtime residents watching their hometowns transform into playgrounds for the ultra-rich, while their own kids wonder if they'll ever be able to afford a home here. And it's not just housing. Prices on everything go up when billionaires move in. Groceries, gas, basic services, all inflated. Meanwhile, the actual economy of Wyoming is still fragile, relying heavily on tourism and the boom and bust cycles of energy extraction. So yeah, Wyoming is wealthy, but it's a very lopsided kind of wealth. One county hoards the riches, while much of the rest of the state keeps struggling with low wages and limited opportunities. Now you might be thinking, hold on, isn't this the same story as Aspen in Colorado or Sun Valley in Idaho? And you'd be partly right. Those places are also luxury playgrounds for the rich. But Wyoming plays the game differently. Take Colorado. Aspen has the mountains, the skiing, and the luxury lifestyle, but it also has state income tax. Same story with Montana's Bozeman or Idaho's Sun Valley. The views might be great, but the tax man is still knocking at the door. Wyoming flips the script. It offers all the scenic beauty of the Rockies, with none of the financial downsides. No income tax, dirt-cheap property taxes, dynasty trust laws that make estate planners salivate. Combine that with world-class skiing and untouched national parks, and suddenly Wyoming makes Aspen look overpriced, and Sun Valley feels second tier. And let's be honest, billionaires don't like to follow the crowd. Buying property in Aspen is cliché at this point. Buying a ranch in Jackson Hole, that's exclusivity. That's signaling that you're in the inner circle of the ultra-rich. So yes, other states have ski resorts and mountain towns, but Wyoming has something they can't match. The perfect cocktail of luxury, lifestyle, and financial loopholes. It's not just a destination, it's a statement. So what's next for Wyoming? On paper, the state looks like it has two different futures. One is a billionaire enclave that keeps getting richer, with Teton County turning into America's version of Monaco. The other is the rest of Wyoming, where energy jobs rise and fall, towns struggle to keep young people, and the population barely grows. The truth is, Wyoming's economy is still fragile. It leans heavily on industries that can collapse overnight: coal, oil, gas, tourism. But the billion rich aren't just visiting anymore. They're building roots, setting up trusts, and parking generational wealth in the state's legal system. For locals, that means the divide is only going to widen. The lights will keep turning on in luxury chalets a few months of the year, while teachers and firefighters will still wonder how they can afford to stay. Wyoming will remain both incredibly rich and incredibly poor, depending on which zip code you're looking at. So here's the big takeaway. Wyoming isn't wealthy because of booming industries or a massive population. It's wealthy because it figured out how to sell two things billionaires can't resist: a financial safe haven and a mountain paradise that looks good in Christmas cards. And that raises the question. Quick thought for you. If you could save millions in taxes but had to spend half the year in a place where bison outnumber people, would you do it? Let me know in the comment.